道长哥哥，道长哥哥好厉害啊！道长哥哥，哥哥，能帮上哥哥的忙就好。哥哥，哥哥，在做什么？哥哥，哥哥收留我。哥哥，道长哥哥，道长哥哥，道长哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥。
I guess you could say that I go get it now. Another good evening and warm greetings to wherever you are in the world. This is Amelia, aka Spaced Out Puffin, and today we are back to watch Heaven Official's Blessing, which is a show which I watch for its riveting plot, which is why I was so excited that the last episode was just full of plot. Despite my sarcasm just now, none of the above is actually a lie, but Episode 5, am I right? Now that I'm calm, I can only say, thank God this show is not 12 episode 5s, because I would have had several aneurysms before I got through all of them. But then again, some of you have implied that season 2 is more. More. And I am frankly a little scared, for all the right reasons. For now, Shillian remains my fave for many, many reasons, some of which I will, of course, make sure to talk about today, rest assured. I'm a bit of a main character simp in general. Like, I'm of the opinion that if you fail to set up an interesting and meaningful main character, you've sort of failed setting up your story. It's just gonna be less good no matter how good your supporting cast is, because everyone will always be annoyed by your subpar main character. But if this guy happens to be your fave, I completely understand and I respect that. We are prepping to go into episode 6, which I have heard that I will probably enjoy. But before we get back to the plot barging in on one of the most intense and important LIAN scenes up till now, we have our usual to-do list. I have some very character-focused discussions coming up, and quite a few questions that I want to try and make theories around. Notes from my episode 5 rewatch us, plural, for the plot, of course. I want to review some more things I've been learning from the comments. And I have a fun little announcement for you guys. This is your cue to navigate the chapters as you please, but if you're interested in the details of my TGCF journey, you're welcome to stick around. Okay, so if you've been keeping up with my community posts, you might already know this, but I bought the books. More specifically, I bought volumes 1 and 2 because getting them together qualified me for free shipping. I like to think that's me channeling Shillian, but honestly, if he was getting his copy of volume 1, he would be getting it from the 50-cent dustbin at a second-hand bookshop, cover torn off, reprinted badly on a copy machine, laminated, and held together by duct tape and love, stained with the tears of its previous readers. I still have to wait a bit for their arrival because of the holiday season, but that's fine. I'll still be receiving them way sooner than I would have been able to by myself, and that's thanks to you guys. Specifically the people who drop by my temple, aka my coffee page. Your generosity has seriously just blown me away. I think I feel a little like Shillian was feeling at the end of that episode. This humble god of the corkboards is immensely grateful to all her followers. Seriously though, thank you. I know the coffee donations have come from people who really want me to get to experience this story in its original form. And with 5 episodes under my belt, I know it's a bit early days, but I'm actually so excited. I am really looking forward to diving deeper into this story that you guys have been describing as the greatest love story of all time. Which leads me into my second little announcement, which is, yes, I will definitely be recording book-related videos. Over the past couple of weeks, a lot of you guys have asked me to, and I've been a bit hesitant because I have no idea how I'll go about it. So while I'm not exactly sure what format they will be in, you guys have been sending me a few references, a few YouTubers to check out. So once I'm done watching this series, I will research a few book logs and read-alongs and see if there's anything that feels right for me. The one thing I do know is that this stays. But it might need an upgrade. Like, how much bigger do you reckon? Like, this much? Someone said like 4 times this size. This whole wall is gonna be a corkboard soon. I hope this is good news for you guys. I have been feeling all your love and excitement through our interactions this week, and for some reason, episode 5 has just been immensely popular. Gee, I wonder why. Once again, you guys were immediately there in the comments, and within a day, I had 1,000 views. What the fuck, you guys? 330 subscribers just for TGCF? You guys are insane. I'm completely floored. And once again, I've just been super enjoying meeting you guys down in the comments and getting to read all your explanations, your compliments, and your ideas. Even when it's to make sure that I don't forget that MDZS is a thing. Trust me, I'll remember. You guys are very convincing. I'm sure if you gave me a palm reading now, you'd just see MDZS sometimes down the fate line. So I have been learning a lot from the comments this time around. And speaking of, we need to talk about gege. Because...
道长哥哥，道长哥哥，道长哥哥，哥哥，哥哥的哥哥，哥哥，哥哥，哥哥是哥哥。
I guess you could say that we need to talk about gege. And we need to talk about Sanlang too, and the whole original Chinese version actually. I am a bit of a language nerd, and especially in the cases where language and culture just intertwines to the point where certain terms and phrases are just untranslatable without their cultural context. I loved getting to learn all the name meanings from you guys, and now I'm getting crash courses in Chinese cultural language. I love you guys. You sure know the way into a girl's heart. It's pretty boys and cultural exchange. I'm not gonna go too in depth because you guys have already done that for me. If anyone is confused or curious about any of these terms, just check out the comments from my last videos because there are some really good explanations down there. Sanlang is both a given name and nod. And very cleverly, it is also what a wife might call her husband if he was the third son of his family. Sort of like a cute, very we're married nickname. I bet he was really proud of that one when he came up with it. Which makes Shillian taking him to bed immediately after even funnier. I also read that there's a little bit of meta going on here with the author, as this is her third story, and she's been kind of naming her male lead characters like that. Like the second story had a male lead who was the second son, and the first one had one that was the first son, and now we're at the third one. It's like he's their son. I thought that information was kind of fun. Next up, we have the famous gege. Little bit of a divergence here, but my first time hearing this term was actually like back when I was, 14, reading pirated manga online. And I remember there was this one series with this girl who had like a boy avatar in like a virtual reality video game where she got really good and eventually turned into some sort of rock star idol. I don't know, whatever. But there was also like this elder brother character who she would call gege, which was how I realized that the manga I was reading was not a Japanese manga. But enough of that. As I understand it, gege denotes a sort of brotherly familiarity. A few of you helpfully compared it to some of the Korean terms that I'm more familiar with, but I do understand that it's slightly different. Depending on the context, it can be formal or rather more intimate, and it can be quite flirty. Whatever game he's playing, he's obviously winning. So in the Chinese version, gege is what Hua Cheng calls Shillian in place of his actual name. I think that the first time I heard it, it actually seemed more formal. It was used kind of with Shillian's supposed title as a Taoist priest, and so the subtitles would read Master Taoist, like Taoist gege. He only drops the first pure, unedited gege after Shillian has asked him to stay the night. So it did feel like that invitation did bring them closer. Take this all with a pinch of salt. I am still learning how to listen to Mandarin, so I might have completely missed a lot of basic things here. But I was listening for it. Either way, this obviously does not translate well in its complexity, so in the dub, Hua Cheng just calls Shillian Shillian. However, I actually think the intent translates quite well. Shillian is, after all, never addressed by name by any of the other characters. It's Your Highness, His Highness the Crown Prince, so on and so forth. So while we lose the intricacies of Gege and of Hua Cheng not actually calling Shilian by his name, which I understand has cultural significance, Hua Cheng being the only person to call Shilian by his name in a way becomes the English equivalent of this. As close as you can get it without actually needing the audience to learn a Chinese term. So I'm not mad about it, but it is another layer of culture that is lost in translation. Since we're talking about episode 5 Hua Cheng, let's keep doing that. Let's keep talking about him. One thing that is clear from my rewatch and that you guys have been talking about is how Hua Cheng is interpreted a little differently in the two versions. Without me knowing like the moods of Mandarin, I do get the impression that all the traits we see in the dub are sort of less pronounced in the Chinese version. The character feels a bit younger to me, and his flirtations and charms and all that seems just a lot less direct, right? Overall, he feels a lot more carefree. But even with all that, I do feel like the intent still remains in the dub. The core of him doesn't really change, even if the interpretation and presentation is different. And I think that's really important. I'm still enjoying both versions a lot so far, and I will not stop doing my double watch anytime soon. Though I do respect the opinion of not liking the dub, or believing it's James Cheek's gift to humanity. As a side note there, I have been learning a little bit about the voice actors for the English dub. You guys have told me that James, aka Hua Cheng's voice actor, has had a hand in writing the script, and additionally has read the books. Howard Wang, who is the voice of Shilian, as I understand is a Mandarin speaker, which obviously has helped the whole cast out when it comes to pronunciation and so on. I know you guys mentioned James a lot, but I just have to give an extra shout out to Howard, because his interpretation of Shilian was definitely a part of why I stuck with the dub. If I had found the main character annoying and the voice grating, I would not have kept watching the dub. And overall, I'm just impressed with the team, and I've heard that season 2 is even better, so I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what they've cooked up. Now, no more of that, because I need to talk about the ox cart scene shaving 8 years of my life. Again, what an absolute nightmare. So much info. So much boys. Looking through my episode 5 rewatch notes, surprisingly, I understood a lot more than I initially thought while I was watching it the first time. Like, I caught a lot. It must have been the 2 AM vibes telling me that I was doing such a shit job at retaining anything. Like, at the time, it felt like everything I was filming was making no sense. But looking back in editing, it wasn't actually that bad. Good job, me. The flower is staying white. I did notice that the whole point of the name, Crimson Rainsword Flower, was not the flower being crimson, it's the rain, the blood rain, seeking to protect the flower. I saved myself some work there. The first really important info that he dropped was that Hua Cheng fights ghosts, which from what I'm seeing in the comments is one of the reasons he's so confusing to the heavenly officials. Like, he might sometimes appear to be helping them out. This got me thinking that maybe it was a coincidence that Hua Cheng was at Mount Yujin. Maybe he was there to slay the ghosts. And maybe his reunion with Shilian was a coincidence. But then again, his sudden appearance here at the fucking ox cart doesn't exactly disprove the existence of a Shilian censor. Like, he came dressed and prepared. How does he know where he is? He must have a way of finding him. The importance of a ghost's ashes was also explained to us, in the most tragically romantic way possible. So he sat there, all smiling and carefree, telling Shilian just how to kill him. And though Shilian doesn't know it, implies that he would be willing to give them to the person he trusts. My prediction is he will find a way to give his ashes to Shilian. Like, maybe he'll wear it around, like in a small little pouch or something? Or like a small ceramic jar? I don't know, how do you carry ashes around? Gosh, I love that custom so much. It's what ships are made of. Another thing I did take note of is how he seems uncomfortable to touch Shilian. Even when he's being all flirty and all up in his face, he never actually touches Shilian. And when Shilian grabs him when he's about to fall off the cart, like he seemed really uncomfortable. This is something a couple of commenters also pointed out, and this really shows us how empathic and observant Shilian is, because when he is about to read Hua Cheng's palm later, he makes sure not to touch him directly. Also the scene when Shilian goes to brush his hair to kind of check his hair texture to see if he is a ghost or not. Like you can see Hua Cheng's face just fall a little as he reaches out and touches it, though he eventually lets it happen, and it's such a fucking cute scene. It was also so cute how obviously excited Hua Cheng was to be invited to stay the night. Like, I don't know what he was planning on doing originally, like maybe he'd show up again the next morning to try and see if he couldn't get a little closer somehow. But then he got the invitation and he was leaning on the cart, like twiddling his thumbs like, oh my god. And then the shift in his expression when he learns that they'll be sharing the same bed. Oh, he's so cute. He is dead, which is the only explanation I can think of as to why he is not completely red-faced. And then the whole next day, when Sanlang just takes his namesake very seriously and sets out to be the best house husband that has ever house husband. And I think I watched the conversation they had before going to sleep like 5 times. There was a lot happening there. Shilian seems so genuinely happy to just be known, right? But because of their interactions, it's quite confusing, like whether he knows that Hua Cheng knows, or if they're both kind of playing this game of I know and you know but we're not talking about it. Either way, when they get to talking about the Emperor and Shilian's banishments, he really looks deeply unhappy. And I don't know how much Hua Cheng knows about the details of this, if he was there or if he's just heard later, but he's obviously deeply resentful about this. Another commenter pointed out to me that when Shilian wakes up the next morning, he's actually turned to face Hua Cheng. Some of the things being said makes me a bit unsure of the timeline. Like, Shilian makes it seem like he's been down there for months, doing a lot of stuff but not really getting anywhere. And then right after the scene that really properly convinced me of Hua Cheng's devotion towards Shilian, the plot came walking in. And it came in the shape of an old man who seems to be leaking like sand out of his robes. And I'm guessing sand because of the images that we see in the ending. Yeah, I finally tried to study the images in the ending. And there seems to be like this desert-like cave with a little tombstone and a lot of snakes. And also in the ending, on the offering table in Chestnut Temple, we find the one ring to rule them all, forged in the fires of Mount Tonglu. Essentially, our quest now is Shilian traveling to destroy the ring. And yes, Hua Cheng can come along. Alright, jokes aside, we haven't seen this object yet, but the fact that it's so right in front of you during the ending makes me feel like it's important. So there are like 3 possibilities for whose it is. It could be Shilian's, but it could also be Hua Cheng's. And it could also be something of Shilian's that he is lost at some point and that Hua Cheng is returning to him. Or someone else even. But let's be real. A ring in a BL series? But just from the fact that it is on the offering table, which is for giving offerings to Shilian, I'm leaning more towards it being a gift to him for some reason. Either way, I'm waiting for it. Now, one of the reasons why I think episode 5 is so enjoyable is that we are finally starting to puzzle together who is Hua Cheng. And while I'm only really certain of like 2 things about him, now we have a lot more to work with. The first thing I'm 100% on is that he was saved by Shilian in the past as a child. However, we do not know the extent of their relationship after that just yet. Like, I don't even know if they were close. But as he kept appearing in the montage in episode 1, kind of around Shilian, I feel like he's been with him for a while. Number 2 on the list of things I'm completely sure about is that he's undeniably and utterly devoted to Shilian. And I am a bit concerned about this for several reasons. such as the length of time this has been going on for. To repeat myself from last episode, what exactly makes a devotion last for 8 fucking centuries? How deep does it go, Hua Cheng? But that brings us to the present day. Like, what are his intentions now? What exactly is he hoping for? To stay by Shilian's side and protect him? Or is he actually hoping, like, to become his lover, sweetheart, boyfriend? But judging from some of his words and his actions, he kind of seems to be framing himself as someone no good and someone inferior to Shilian. He answers Shilian's questions about Crimson Rainsword Flower, but never brags about himself. In fact, he only adds descriptions to the more terrible points. Like, he makes sure to say that he was no good as a human, as well as the story about his supposed madness driving him into poking his own eye out. As Sandong, though, he tries to present himself as an ideal. He does mention that he wants to show his true self sometime, and he tells Shilian this, which makes me think he is kind of afraid of rejection, which is why he feels this need to wear kind of this perfect disguise. Okay guys, but of course, I feel so slow right now. He would of course not see himself as Shilian's equal in any capacity. He was his crown prince, turned god. Shilian ascended while he was still alive, right? This boy probably prayed at his temples. He was his follower. No, yeah, I feel like that kind of makes sense. I also mentioned in a reply somewhere, I think, that it didn't seem like he was very well off as a child. And it seems like he's been spending his time over the last 800 years, becoming not just stronger, but also very well read. A smart boy, smart and capable and ready to be useful to His Highness the Crown Prince, his god. So yes, of course he taught himself how to paint the Crown Prince of Shanle. This is the face of a man who has a bookshelf somewhere, filled to the brim with sketchbooks, filled with His Royal Highness sketches only. Like a teenager with their first hyperfixation. He's made his whole personality about it. Now moving on from the good boy to the best boy. One thing from last episode, which was really funny to me, is Shilian's non-existent gay awakening. Like, I don't think he knows yet that he's a protagonist in a BL. But whilst he is oblivious to the gay, for now, he is not oblivious to the plot. While I was busy blushing and hiding my face, he was locked in. And while this is happening, he is choosing to act independently of heaven. Even though he's suspicious that this might be a high-level ghost, he's not running around to send messages or run back up and let him know what's going on. This sort of independence combined with the competence we know he has is super intriguing to me, and I love it. But I also wonder if this is kind of indicative of the plot as a whole. Like, we already have gods who are not always up to good stuff, and demons who are renovating temples on their free time. So as we're working kind of in the sea of grey, I wonder if maybe at some point in the future, we, meaning everyone who's Team Shilian, might be facing off with both heavenly officials and the no-good demons. Like a sort of three-way conflict. One relationship that I'm very curious about and that I think will be important to this is the one between Shilian and the mysterious emperor, Jun Wu. So what we know so far is that the emperor liked Shilian when he was younger and showing a lot of promise, like knowing that he was about to ascend, and then later on banished him for something he has done and for reasons that Shilian agrees that he should be punished for. So I'm thinking this relationship is kind of like interest that's turned into disappointment. Like, via Ling Wen, we know that he is aware and interested in the situation, but Shilian has been ascended for a while now and he has yet to show up. Either way, Shilian doesn't seem to mind nor blame him. Like, he tells Hua Cheng that he thinks his punishment is deserved, even though he really disagrees. But I'm looking forward to getting to meet him, to see kind of what is going on in this whole thing. Another topic I'd like to know more about is Heaven's power source and structures versus that of ghosts. We know that the Heaven officials are dependent on followers and temples and offerings in order to remain gods. So one of the things I am wondering about is what is keeping Shilian alive as a god? He implied that he was being a burden to Lingwen and to the Emperor because he didn't have followers and didn't have a temple. So is he kind of like been borrowing their spiritual energy in order to be a god, even without followers? I don't know. Like, technically, he's had Hua Cheng. Does that count? Because he's like dead, right? Ghosts, on the other hand, is a bit more unclear to me right now. We know that they have a big championship over at Mount Tonglu. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Where they fight until a ghost king comes up on top. So is it the fighting that increases kind of their power level, so to speak? Or is it this place and fighting in this specific place? The Heaven officials made it seem like Xuanji became more powerful after she started interacting and working with the Green Lantern ghost person, Qirong. So maybe there are other ways for ghosts to become more powerful. Now, when it comes to power structures, Heaven has also been a lot more clear to me. It seems that we have the Emperor on top, who really is only the Emperor because he's the strongest of the gods. Then you have the heavenly officials below him, who are either martial gods or civil gods. These heavenly officials may also have deputies or junior officials who are not gods themselves, but who borrow the powers of their respective gods in order to be heavenly junior officials. In this structure, it seems that ascension, in the case of heaven and gods, ascension seems to be a law of the universe. It's dictated by fate and by these great deeds. Banishment, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be a law of the universe, but rather a consequence of the rules and laws of heaven, enforced by the Heavenly Emperor. Though of course I might be wrong on that. But until I get more information, I just think that's a really interesting thing. As for ghosts and ghost kings, who knows? Like, there are several kings. Do they rule over certain areas? Or is it just a denotion of power levels? We do know that ghosts can cooperate, but to what end? Do weaker ghosts have to follow like the commands of stronger ghosts? So far, we've seen like humanoid ghosts like Hua Cheng and Xuanji, and I guess by Wu Qiang as well. But we've also seen these creatures that look a little less human. Are there ghost spirits of animals as well? Or do some humans change forms when they become ghosts? And my question from episode 4 still kind of remains unanswered, and I don't know if I'm ever going to find an answer to this one. But like, Hua Cheng has followers, right? So does he get some sort of power from having followers as well as his ghostly powers? And with that, we come to the close of this episode's discussion part. And I have noted down a few predictions for the next coming arc or time that we're going into. So we're entering a new and sandy plot. There will be a new mystery. We'll definitely be traveling, meeting the characters that we've seen in the opening. I've seen snakes. And I'm thinking we're really gonna go like Sherlock Watson on this. Like our duo out in the world solving this mystery. I think that Hua Cheng's Sanlang form as well as his other form will kind of be a topic, if not soon, at least later on. Like maybe circumstances will force him out of his disguise. Or maybe this form is just more powerful because he doesn't have to spend energy keeping up appearances. That is if this really is his real form. But from the story beats we've been going through, I feel like it is. Either way, I'm waiting for some kind of reveal. I also predict that someone from heaven will learn about Shilian's new house husbands, and they will either be suspicious of Sanlang or suspicious of Shilian for taking in this young twink who's making eyes at him every other second. And finally, with this all out of the way, I am so ready to jump into the next episode. So let's start the reaction and stick around for more discussions afterwards. Fuck, where did my pen go? Ah. Episode 6. Let's roll. Oh, we're going straight into opening? This is already a top-notch episode. Alright, and here is the plot. This is where we're headed. Let's go, let's go. Alright, we're back at the temple. We're inside the temple. Damn, imagine waking up to that. You're so lucky, old man.
You're awake?
You're so lucky, old man.
Don't send me back. Please, good priest.
He's not doing well. Yeah, he didn't like that. Exactly. Why is he so
No need
grumpy?
to be afraid. I'm the caretaker of this temple. Where is it that you don't want to go back to, sir?
It's called the Crescent Pass. I barely managed to escape.
Crescent Pass.
What happened there?
Have you not heard of it?
I hear the view of the moon is lovely.
Perhaps it was 200 years ago, but these days it should be called the Death Pass.
Alright.
At least half the people who journey through there never return.
And why is that?
I was part of a caravan passing through that met a gruesome fate.
Oh, I think
However,
this.
something unusual happened.
I think this
The
whirlwind
60
thing
people
was
I was
in
with were
the
suddenly
ending as
nowhere
well.
to be found. No one was left but me.
That's quite a lot. The number of victims Xuanji claimed was only about 200 over a century.
Uh-huh.
How long would you say the Crescent Pass has been like this?
But rumor has it this started 150 years ago when an evil
Hang on.
Taoist seized control.
You claimed you fled all the way from Crescent Pass?
Indeed, I barely made it out alive.
Oh, you're being clever. We're already communicating without
From your
words.
travels. Please, have some water.
Well,
What is wrong with him? What did you guys notice
Now,
that
no
I
need
don't
to be
know?
polite.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Double threat. Why is he so hesitant?
Enough. You're unable to drink it. I see.
Why is that so hard? Oh yeah, you stood no chance. You said that was so hard. He's not alive. Oh, look at these action scenes. They're so cool. Did he just... Was that a chopstick?
I'm afraid it's tainted. I can just...
I said I was expecting them to Sherlock and Watson this. But this is Sherlock and Watson. If they were martial arts superheroes. The chopstick, Sanlang? Really? Not gonna lie, that was so fucking hard.
I'm afraid it's tainted. I can just make you another.
House husband strikes again.
He was a puppet? He left no remains.
Quite
Puppets.
convincing, wasn't he? It's safe to assume that you're dealing with someone incredibly crafty. Not only did he hide his ghost aura completely, but he walked right past your talisman, too.
I'm impressed you know so much about puppets.
I dabble.
He dabbles in a lot of things.
Aren't you a bit alarmed by this?
Certainly.
Okay, we're about to step into the telepathic matrix again to see what Heaven's up to and maybe report about this. But I just want to remark on the fact that this was apparently a puppet, as in someone was controlling it. So why would they send it this way? Like, why would the puppet be wandering by Shilian's temple specifically? I think the plot is already plotting. What's all this? Pretty filters.
Your Highness,
Lingwen!
welcome back. How was life in the mortal realm?
I'm fine. So, what is this?
Windmaster's back. They're giving handouts.
You were
Windmaster.
too sluggish.
100 marriage credits.
Why did I get only one? What a kind-hearted individual they are.
No kidding. You may join.
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, so they're
Pardon
just
me,
throwing money
has
around?
anyone heard of the Crescent Pass?
Oh my god. I feel like no matter what Shillian is going to say into like this matrix, it will be like dropping a bomb. Everything he says has everyone just like, God of misfortune indeed.
I said, has anyone heard of the
Another round. The Windmaster has given
Ignored.
out 100.
1 moment, Your Highness.
Fucking hell, Windmaster,
All
we
of a
were
sudden
doing
interesting.
important
He was
things.
attacked by a puppet, and he claimed to have fled from that place. He also said that over half the people who have traveled through there have gone missing. I found it rather suspicious, so I came to gather more information.
I suggest you leave it alone.
Did the puppet tell the truth?
Your Highness, we shouldn't discuss this. It would be unwise to dig up the affairs of the Heaven Realm.
This is so suspicious. Holy shit. Oh, hello.
Sanlang, I need to leave briefly.
Did
Headed
he
to Crescent
go?
Pass?
Like, did he
problem.
actually go to heaven?
I'll join you.
It'll be quite the journey, I fear.
We're going
You can
together.
Let me ask you,
Road trip.
why meddle in this anyway?
Bluntly, I used to collect scraps over there. Part of me is curious. I like the place.
I see.
Alright.
Want to know who the evil Crescent Taoist is?
You mean, you know something?
Just a bit. 200 years ago, the Crescent Kingdom still existed.
Okay, Sanlang knows some backstory.
Crescentians were known for having powerful and aggressive warriors, often harassing the inhabitants of the Central Plain. Their imperial preceptor was that Taoist.
Okay, just a little pause while I rewatch and kind of get the details of that. There's a lot of stuff being said now. Okay, so Shillian goes to heaven? I don't know if he was in heaven or if he was just in the telepathic matrix. Anywho, when he asks about the Crescent Pass, everyone goes completely mute. Ling Wen tells him that he shouldn't meddle in this because it has to do with the Heaven Realm's affairs. It seems like the dark side of heaven is showing itself even more quickly than I thought it would. Then there's Sanlang waiting at home like a good boy and just immediately ready to travel wherever Shillian is gonna go. And of course he has knowledge about the Crescent Kingdom as well. More specifically, that this evil Taoist was the Imperial Preceptor. This is a new word to me, but they were the Imperial Preceptor of this kingdom. One of the reasons Shillian says to Sanlang he's interested in going there is because apparently he used to collect scraps there. So Shillian, you've been around, you've traveled quite a bit. And now the plot has come knocking on the door again, so let's see who it is. It's them! Oh my god!
You planning a trip?
They're back.
How did you know?
You spoke to Ling Wen. We overheard you.
Yeah, you were kind of in the group chat.
Looking for answers. But why are you here?
Indeed. All ready, all geared up.
I see. You volunteered, didn't you?
You guessed it.
How soon?
Oh my god.
Right now?
What's the rush? I'll prepare a passageway.
Alright, but if you ever feel like this is too much, kindly turn around.
Lian, who are those two?
Who are you?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Please don't worry. They're my
Don't speak to
friends.
him.
And why is that? You know him?
I don't.
Then what could be the problem?
Lian, are these your servants?
I could have given you that idea. They're rather more like my assistants.
Really?
Are they your servants? Okay, this everything about this is just so fucking hilarious. Not only do we have all our four like a core board in the same room, but Shillian is literally the only one out of disguise. Function and Mooching just literally rushed down there immediately after Shillian hung up his call. Or rather, Nanfang and Fuyao. So they've arrived ready to help Shillian once again, and then suddenly they hear this guy calling him by name. I'm guessing the Chinese version will be gege, and they're just rushing in there, asking who the fuck are you? And I don't think they know yet that it is the big evil Ghost King, who seems like he's been holding a gun to their heads for like years. Like, you guys are literally his targets. This is the funniest fucking combination that could have ever happened. Oh gosh, I am so excited.
They're rather more like my assistants.
Really? If that's the case, assist away.
Oh my god.
Gentle now, that's my only broom.
Gosh, I'm pausing again, but he specifically threw that broom at Hu Yao. Does he know, like, immediately? Like, did he clock them just now? Shillian, are they your servants? Here, grab this fucking broom. This is so targeted. He has to know, right? If he doesn't, it's the funniest fucking coincidence. Gosh, this is a different kind of episode 5.
Hang on,
so mad.
not inside.
Bravo. Nice.
Where did you meet this man? Who is he? And why is he here?
We met by chance. He's fine. He had nowhere to go, so I let him stay.
You know nothing about him? What if he's dangerous?
This is so protective, oh my
It's
gosh.
all right.
But it's not all right!
I told you there's no problem here. Besides, Sanlang has helped me fix up my temple. Just trust me. Let's prepare for the trip. And please don't fight in here. I'd hate to have to rebuild this place.
Let's go then.
Do you want to draw the formation on the door? They're a bit protective. Sorry.
A
I'll
little
let
bit.
it go. No harm done. Perhaps I looked like someone to them.
You did. Don't mind me. Being cautious.
That's funny. You look familiar to me too.
He knows. He knows. Hua Cheng knows.
Do you really
100%.
live in this pigsty?
It's
Oh
not
my
that
gosh, it's cute. Come
Where's
on.
your bed?
bad. It's on the floor over there.
You mean you both slept on it together?
Something wrong with that?
I'm done.
Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. Alright.
It looks crude.
Well, if mine was better than the Earthmasters, they'd be out of a job, wouldn't they?
Earthmaster.
That's enough. Let's be on our way.
I don't remember what they
With
called
heavenly
it, but
blessings, may all taboos be shattered.
almost a title drop again. Ooh.
According to an ancient text, as the moon begins to set, follow the pole star, and you'll find Crescent Kingdom. Look, that's it.
So bright.
Look at them, they're so cute.
Beautiful. The night sky of the northwest looks so different.
Why's he here?
Taoist magic is amazing. I'd like to spy some.
Oh, get lost! We're not sightseeing.
Ignore him. I mean, we have plenty of food. Sanlang, just stick with us and don't get lost.
No problem.
What if he gets in the way?
Come on now, Nanfeng. It'll be all right. This way.
This is everything. This is so wonderful. Oh, I love the like painted look to these backgrounds. The walking looks a little bit weird, I have to say.
Shirley-Ann, I can't
Aw.
take it anymore. Can't we draw up another teleportation
Is he weak
formation?
to
Well, it
heat?
isn't a bad
Or
idea.
is he acting?
It costs mana. And the further that it moves us, the longer that it takes to recharge.
Okay.
Must hold out.
Can't you make him draw one?
Fu Yao's saving his, just in case. Here, please wear this.
Oh my god.
No. I'm all right.
Fine, if you insist. Anyway,
Why is
what
this
else do
so
you know
cute?
about the evil Crescent Taoist? You never
They're
finished
taking
saying.
care of each other.
I'd be happy to tell you what I know. Though to begin, there were two Taoists.
Okay.
Very well then. Who's the other one?
It was Feng Xin of the Central Plain.
Feng Xin of
If
the
traveling
Central
to
Plain.
the west, the Central Plain fought to claim the territory 200 years ago. Back then, the evil Crescent Taoist was but an orphan, wandering around with no place to go. Lacking a mentor in life, they learned the art of black sorcery. The Crescentians made them their imperial preceptor. The adolescent created an altar to protect their soldiers. The soldiers dedicated themselves to protecting the gates. However, at the climax of battle, the Imperial Preceptor opened the gate. Tens of thousands of enemies flooded their city. The Imperial Preceptor used this to enhance their black sorcery. This event led them to becoming a wrath.
Okay, rewatching that whole thing again, just to kind of get some of the plot points down. So there are in total 2 different state preceptors, but the one of the Crescent Kingdom was an orphan who obtained powers and was then made the state preceptor. Again, I have no idea what kind of position that is and what that entails, but they were made state preceptor of the Crescent Kingdom, who fought against the kingdoms of the Central Plane? Hold on, gotta double check that. Alright, so then during a battle between the Central Plane and the Crescent Kingdom, the state preceptor betrayed the kingdom and opened the gates, allowing the Central Planers to slaughter the city and win. Okay, I think I've got this so far. Let's keep going, Sanlang.
The Crescent Kingdom fell,
And they
now
became a
only the
wrath
past remains.
ghost.
What about its ruins?
When the city fell, evil spirits moved in.
Do you know anything about the rumors of the missing people? Recently, I mean.
A little. Something about the evil Taoist feeding travelers to the spirits of dead soldiers, thus sustaining their presence in this realm.
Okay.
Seems you're knowledgeable.
Seems that way, because you are ignorant.
Pardon me?
Feel yourself!
Oh my god.
What's wrong? I'm simply relaying what I read in a book. Why are you so worked up?
Why
The story's just
indeed?
hearsay anyway. We'll have to see for ourselves.
Look over there.
It's already way past noon, isn't it? I say we take a break.
I'll go run up ahead.
They are so
Your
suspicious of
Highness.
him.
Something's a little off with this man.
Certainly.
Then why
He
keep him
knows.
around? He could be dangerous.
Please just trust in me. Being off doesn't mean he's harmful. One might say the same about me. And do I come across as dangerous?
I love you,
Moreover,
Shillian.
I ran a few trials myself.
Notice anything?
No, nothing at all. So if he's not a human, that only means one thing.
A ghost king?
Collecting scraps with me? Doesn't seem likely, I'd say. I happen to like him. Besides, I don't have much to be taken advantage of.
But
Oh
sir,
my god.
allow me to test him.
Alright. But you two are strong. What if he's simply some runaway kid? Just be gentle with him.
Shirley-Ann! Shirley-Ann, it's nice and cool down here!
This is so good. This is everything I like.
Any left?
Wait! Take mine.
That's true shape serum.
Help
Here's the
yourself.
I'm
testing.
fine sharing with Shirley-Ann.
I'm
But he's
sure
low
you
on
are.
water.
Okay. I'll have some after you then.
Guess you go first.
Couldn't. But thank you. You're too kind.
Because he knows they're in
It would
disguise.
be rude of me.
I said you first. Why are you being so adamant? Hiding something, are we?
What about you? You're being forceful.
Oh my god.
Let me guess. It's poisoned.
Why not check with him?
Tell me, is it tainted?
It isn't, but nevertheless.
All right. It tasted nasty.
Wait. So is that his
strange
true
here.
shape,
It's just
or
water.
No.
is
There's
it
a
just that
difference.
powerful?
Friend, since this journey is going to be dangerous, you should be prepared to protect yourself.
Red
Okay.
Mirror, the ghost revealing
Dunfang's
sword?
up next.
I thought it had been pawned off.
What was
May I
that?
ask where you got this weapon from? Red Mirror, the ghost revealing sword? I thought it
Ghost
had been
revealing
pawned off.
sword?
May I ask where you got this weapon from?
It's Nanyang's. He reclaimed it
Yeah,
after
it's
his
yours.
ascension. I borrowed it from him.
Let's see this thing.
Oh my god.
Shirley-Ann, are your companions mocking me?
What does that mean?
I can't use this. It's broken.
Oh my god, did he break it?
Why you?
You're
I doubt
so
you'd give me
extra.
a
I
broken
love you
sword
so
on
much.
purpose. Perhaps you shattered it on the way.
Oh my
Frankly,
god.
I'd be better off without it.
Look outside. I think we're getting a sandstorm. Since we're sheltered, it'd be wise to stay put.
What did you see? People?
Are you changing the subject, Your Highness?
No, I saw someone out there.
People.
Two people?
Hey, Sanlung. The Evil Crescent Taoist. Are they male?
Well, perhaps not.
Girls? Girls! Girls!
Let's follow.
We have women. Alright, braving the sandstorm, probably not a smart idea.
She's gone. We lost her. Fuyao, we need to get to shelter.
Oh, did we lose them
Fuyao!
already? That's not good. Oh, there's Nanfang. Fuyao. Where's
Hey,
Sanlong?
where's Sanlung?
Oh, there he is. He doesn't seem that bothered. Are we so happy to see him? Okay.
Be careful.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Just taking care of him. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, this is episode 5 all over
Thanks a
again.
lot.
At least we
I
have
think we
company.
should retreat to be safe. There could be sorcery at play.
It's just some wind and sand. It's not that bad.
I fear we're dealing with something else.
Perhaps he's messing with us.
That's enough. Let's just find shelter.
It seems suspicious. Like it's meant to stop us. I don't know. We should press on. What's that look for?
I'm curious is all. Do you enjoy contradicting others?
Pardon me?
Oh my
I
god.
said enough. You can discuss this all you want once we're safe.
It's not a strong wind.
No! Your Highness!
At least they all have their priorities straight. Oh my gosh, save my boy. He weighs like 2 grams.
Oh yeah! Grab onto something solid!
Oh no! Oh no!
I didn't mean Sanlong!
Oh come on, bandage.
No!
Oh, and that's it. That's the ending. We're flying away into a sandstorm. Guys, what an episode! Right, there we go. Here's our little sandstorm. And here we are, Shillian, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, and the ring we're keeping an eye on. Well, if it ever pops up. So that was great fun. This episode is full of information that's supposed to be fitting into the new plot and the new arc we're going into. But at the same time, we have so many interactions between our core cast, and it's making me so excited. This is so much fun. As the episode went on, I got more and more convinced that Sanlong knows exactly who these two are. And I am more certain than ever that they are the generals in disguise. Like at this point, I'm just treating it as facts. And just the fact that they immediately showed up at his door after Shillian was done speaking in the Matrix. Gosh, they are so fucking funny and so protective. They are immediately suspicious of Sanlong. And Sanlong immediately knows who they are and he's just fucking with them. And knowing the fact that he has deliberately tried to make them ungod themselves. Like again, it makes me wonder what kind of grudge he has towards them. I wonder if this is kind of like a I will tolerate them because Shillian says it's okay sort of situation. And also Shillian telling the two of them that yes, he suspects that Sanlong is in fact not just a ghost, but a ghost king. And still asking them to trust him because, and I don't remember the exact quote, but because being different doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. He's comparing himself to Sanlang, comparing their situations. As in, Xilian is a god, supposedly of heaven, someone supposedly good, but who's done something supposedly bad. And then you have this Ghost King, supposedly a terrifying, terrible creature, but who helped Xilian solve the whole case with the Ghost Groom, and who previously has fought against ghosts to help heaven. Well, probably not directly to help heaven. I think he has his own motivations for that. The point is, Xilian is drawing the parallels for me. I just have to sit back and enjoy. So I'm pretty suspicious that Xilian knows Sanlang is Hua Cheng, because he thinks he's a Ghost King, and what other Ghost King would be sticking around Xilian? The edgy teenager? His worst nightmare? This water demon no one really seems to know anything about? My boy has made his deductions. He knows. Which leaves us with this hilarious situation, where Nanfang and Huyao are really the only people kind of in the know, but who after Xilian's admittance wants to run their own tests on Sanlang, to no avail, because he's like 10 steps of chess ahead of them. And honestly, just that first scene when they hear Sanlang call out for Xilian, and they come in, claws out, they're just so ready to attack and protect. Like, I've been thinking about this for a while, but I have these little cute pins and I wanted to give them some. Like, I feel if I give them these, it will help me understand the plot better. This is not self-indulgent at all. Like, this cat one is super happy looking, but it gets the point across. I bestow the cat pin upon Mu Ching, because that's what he is. A little meow meow, ready to fight. And I thought I had more cat pins in like different colors. I kind of don't want to give the same one to Function. But I have a couple of dog ones, and honestly, like between the two of them, Function is more of a guard dog. He was Xilian's bodyguard after all. And also, he's most likely to be seen barking. Like, Mu Ching comes in with his claws out, Function comes in all puffed up trying to intimidate you. So yes, I bestow the dog pin upon our dear Function. Function? Wasn't that the name of the preceptor? Right, because there are two preceptors that Sanlang mentions. One of them is the state preceptor of the Crescent Kingdom, which is where we're going now. And the other was Function of the Central Plains. Function? Is this just a naming coincidence? Like, is there another character with that name? Maybe the spelling is different, I'll have to check the subs. But yeah, in addition to this really fucking hilarious situation we've got going on here, there are a lot of characters entering the story and a lot of mysteries to be solved. One of the first name drops we have early on in the episode is the Windmaster. And all I can say about them is that they are rich as fuck. They are throwing around money, and people are gobbling it up. Except for Xilian, which is why he's better than me. I would have grabbed the cash. So this Windmaster person will probably come around later. One of the juniors also briefly mentions the Earthmaster, so I'm guessing we have like a few elemental gods. I wonder if I've seen that somewhere. Someone's mentioned that to me before. I have this vague memory. Or maybe I'm mixing this up with a completely different show. Either way, the Earthmaster was mentioned in connection to the teleportation skill that they used. Like, yeah, I think Function was complaining to Mu Ching about how if we drew like a better teleportation spell, the Earthmaster would like be out of a job. So the Earthmaster is someone who's really good at these teleportation spells. I made a note on the timeline as well. I think Sanlang mentioned how shit started happening about 150 years ago in the Crescent Kingdom. The conclusion of which was that the State Preceptor became a Wrath level ghost. And according to what Sanlang is saying, the problem now is that the State Preceptor is luring travelers into the kingdom so that they can feed them to the souls of like the soldier ghosts, I think. Okay, I have to admit I was not paying that much attention to the plot, But like, who would when you've got all this going on? And when Sanlang was being like all sweaty and hot, I wonder if ghosts are affected by the heat, or if he was really just acting so that he would appear human. But then immediately after Shillian tries to take care of him and give him his hat, he's like, oh no, it's okay, I'm fine, and gives it back. Just the fact that they're trying to take care of each other, like doing little things for each other. And oh my god, here's the kicker. If he's had the terrible background, you know, as a child, as I'm thinking, has he ever had someone take care of him? Guys, please save me from my sad thoughts. If he's had like a little bit of a better thing going for him, like if his life has not been all terrible, like before he died and became this, like can I please pretend that he's maybe been happy once? It's okay, it's okay. We're here now. We're here now. We have girls! Like, I know this is a Chinese BL, more or less, and I'm here for the pretty boys with their long, pretty hair. But girls who may or may not be evil. I, for one, welcome our new evil overlords. And I hope we're getting close-ups of them later, because I want their pictures. Because, girls, this is getting good. A few of you left comments with a few expectations of things that I would enjoy and like and react to, so I hope that your wishes were fulfilled, because I think that mine were. I'm having a blast. This whole episode's been so much fun. I'm no longer annoyed that the plot came knocking, because it gave us this. And now I've got all this waiting for me over the winter holiday. And I'm sure I will be busy with family and friends. But not having to go to a day job will give me a little bit more energy, so hopefully I can finish editing this a little more quickly. No promises though, I've been so slow on the editing front. And I've been feeling my throat getting a little bit itchy this whole evening, so I wanted to hurry up and record this while I still know that I'm relatively healthy. Hopefully it's just the cold weather. I have nothing more interesting to say except, gosh, I am really enjoying this show and looking forward to episode 7. So thank you all for joining me. Again, a massive thank you to everyone who's helped me get these books early, because I'm even more excited to get my hands on them now. And I will see you in the next one.
哥哥，